All right. Well, welcome. We're at the Work BC Hiring Fair. I have Cindy from Tigh-Na-Mara, and we are thankful that you are here and spending some time with us. And we get a lot of clients and people looking for work, and often your work comes up, and we
That's
do get
great.
a lot of interest. So we've invited Cindy to kind of answer some questions, just because we do get a lot of people that have interest, and it's just nice to know how they hire and some information, right from the person that would do it. So thank you again for being here.
My
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, so just ask the first question. How did you get started with Tigh-Na-Mara?
Well, my husband and I moved to the island in 2009 for, like everyone else, wanted kinder and gentler. And initially, when I moved here, I worked in Nanaimo, and then decided really that I wanted to live and work in my community. And so in 2011, a job, actually funny, got posted at our local career center, which is right along the same lines of Work BC,
Mhm.
and I applied. So I started in 2011 as an admin assistant, supporting the HR director as well as the general manager. And then in 2014, the HR director decided to change career paths, and they asked if I would be interested in assuming the role. So
Oh,
we tweaked the role a little bit, and now I'm known as the team experience manager. So
oh,
kinder
cool.
and gentler HR.
Yeah, yeah, great. It's a great title. What do you like best about working for Tigh-Na-Mara?
What I like best is that we're actually not a corporate company. My previous work was with RBC, so very big corporate Canada company. I love the fact that we don't actually have a head office. So if we want to make changes, we make changes. It might not suit everybody, but at the stage of my life and my career, I really love it.
Hmm, great. So we have lots of people out here that's going to watch this video, and they're wondering, how do I apply some of these questions, right? They want to kind of dig down into the application process. So I'll just ask you, first of all, what kind of positions are you looking for?
We are looking for a variety of different positions because we are anticipating once the restrictions get lifted, we know we're going to be busy. We're actually looking at probably a 90 to 95 occupancy rate for July and August, which we've never had that before. Um,
Wow.
pe- People want to travel.
Yeah.
So with that, we're looking at hiring in our kitchen. So we need cooks. We need first cooks, second cooks. Well, we almost everywhere. We're looking for culinary. So we definitely have some needs for cooks. So our first cooks start at 1635, and our second cooks start at 1585. We're also looking for stewards, which also known as dishwashers. Our part-time positions are 1460, and our full-time positions are 1535. I should probably also indicate that these are the wages right now. Come June 1st, we're looking at a minimum wage increase. So a lot of our positions will change at that time. In housekeeping, we're looking at room attendants. And room attendants have been a position that we've really struggled with hiring. So we've increased the rate, and it's a fairly decent rate now, starting at 1670. We're also looking at house persons. They similar to room attendants, only they do more of what we call room stripping, laundry. That rate is 1620. These actually are in effect now. We put them into effect to help us with our hiring needs.
Hmm.
hmm As well as we're looking for a night laundry position, and that's a 1720 wage, but it is graveyard overnight.
Yeah.
And then we're looking at our spa. We need our spa coordinators. Those are kind of our meters and greeters. And their current wage is 1485.
So it sounds like you guys have lots to hire for and lots of jobs. That's great.
We
Um,
do.
do you when do you anticipate some of these jobs starting? I guess they're going to stagger, and they're all going to have sort of different start dates. But are you looking for people immediately, or is this kind of more in summer?
We're looking for people immediately. We would prefer to be staffed up prior to summer.
Mhm.
Um, We are, right now, what we're doing this call, it's spring break. Our resort is full. So we weren't expecting that. Our resort is full next week leading up to Good Friday. So we kind of feel that it's here. So we need to be staffing up right now. The
Yeah.
other thing I want to mention too is we rarely even hire for summer only, because summer, while we're busy with our transient guests, those would be families and tourists. Our shoulder seasons, we're busy with conferences. So we're really looking for full time employment. We rarely lay people off, COVID being the one exception. We don't lay people off.
Hmm, that's good. That's good to know. Um, what kind of training do you provide? Obviously, you have different kind of categories for jobs, but what kind of training do you provide your staff?
We just did a housekeeping training program. So that was really fun to work with the housekeeping supervisor team on that one. So we're looking at probably about a week to 2 weeks of training for the housekeeping positions. It's a really physical job. So what we're finding is better to not kill the people initially, and
Yeah.
really just try to ease them into the role. In the kitchens, definitely our executive chef would take over the training of those roles. And in the spa, our spa department head and supervisors do one-on-one or two-on-two training. So we put a lot of pride into our training. We can't just throw people into the weeds. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Um, and so are most of these jobs part-time or full-time, or kind of
I
both?
um, a little bit both. Predominantly, though, we're looking for full time.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys provide benefits for the full-time positions?
We do provide benefits after 90 days, so that's our probation period. So after 90 days, provided they are full time, and full time for us means 32 hours a week, and that they're consistently achieving that. And that
Mm,
really is coming from our insurance provider.
okay. Now, a lot of obviously COVID's on a lot of people's minds right now. Do you guys have any sort of measures in place that would help an employee or a new job seeker that would make them feel comfortable applying there, knowing, hey, you guys have some policies or some COVID stuff in place that would make them safe?
Absolutely. We took to heart the WorkSafe BC safety plans. So every single department has their own safety plan, and that becomes part of the training. For instance, in housekeeping, step one is before they even start their day, their line of PPE is laid out. They have a declaration that they're fit to work. They have to sign off on that. We have a number of policies. We actually implemented a face mask policy probably about 2 months before the public health order came in. I think it was actually last September. We decided, this is not going away. So we implemented our own face mask policy.
Wow,
We
you guys
implement,
are game then, eh?
yeah, we implemented a travel policy. So even if people went out of the province, we asked them to self isolate. It wasn't popular, but it was all about um, keeping our existing team members safe.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what it's all about, and that's great that you guys have a plan for that. Now, what do you guys look for in a candidate? So, what kind of skills and experience would you look for in the ideal candidate or the ideal person, job seeker? What kind of stands out for you guys?
We've actually done a lot of work on this, and what we know, I think we all know, is you can train people how to do things. What you can't train is attitude. So we are looking more for a fit into our culture. We have a very family oriented culture. As I mentioned earlier, we're not a corporate company. So we're really looking for attitude that fits into our culture of being kind and caring and genuine. So that's the number one thing. Like we
Mhm,
we can train people how to do the tasks.
that's good. So, what does success look like in some of these positions? Like, how do you guys sort of measure success, or what how would you kind of define success with Tigh-Na-Mara?
I think one of them is that the people want to work here. That they're excited to come into work. They're happy to be at work. They know they're going to be treated fairly. Um, yeah, I think tenure to me shows success, and
Hmm.
typically we sit at about 30% of our staff have been here for 5 years or more.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just the people that want to be here. We've actually had a few people who've left and they've come back because it's hard when people, if maybe they haven't worked anywhere else, they don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so success to me is people that want to stay and work for us.
Yeah. Sounds like you guys have a real good culture. If people are coming back, and that's a good sign, right? That's good for retention. And
Yeah.
so, how can an applicant stand out on their application? So, what is the first thing that you look for in a resume, or
Mhm.
where sort of does your eye go on a resume? What's going to stand out when they apply?
My eye goes to their experience and what experience do they have, in particular to the job they're applying for. Now, that being said, if they're entry level into, like, maybe they haven't worked before, then I'm looking for volunteer experience. If it's a person maybe who's been home child rearing, I'm looking for transferable skills. Did they sit on committees? Um, Parenting, you have to be a multitasker to parent.
Yeah.
So, to me, a lot of those skills are transferable. So I'm looking for the transferable skills that will go into the positions.
Hmm, good. Um, do you guys prefer to have cover letters or no cover letters when people apply? I know sometimes people get confused whether they should have a cover letter or not. Would that help the cause for someone applying?
I like the cover letter because, first of all, it shows me that they're applying to us. That's one thing
Right.
I'm looking for too. Like, are they, has there been a mistake that they sent us a resume and actually has a different name on it? That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, what are they looking for? Are they looking for part time, looking for full time? Why are they applying to us?
Yeah. You're right, and that's a good way for them to tailor, the reasons they want to work there and what they
Exactly.
provide to the employer. And we've always kind of taught that as well.
Yeah.
So if so there's people out there, they're watching this video, they want to apply. They're like, I like this culture. I like, some of the positions you mentioned. I'm ready to kind of apply. I'm getting some awesome tips on my resume. So now I know how to get noticed. What's the best way to move forward to apply?
The best way is to move forward is to apply online, and our email address is human.resources@tinamera.com.
So apply online, have a cover letter tailored to, why you want to work there. Those are some things that you're definitely looking for. Who do you want the cover letter to address to? Is it you, Cindy, or is it
Yeah,
just they put Tigh-Na-Mara, or what's
I
the best?
think it can come to me,
Okay.
and if they can mention that they watched this video, that would be great too, because it's always nice to kind of get that full circle.
Yeah, that's great. And then the only other thing we haven't discussed is sort of the hiring process. So, what are the stages of hiring? Like, do you guys do multiple interviews? Do you usually do a single interview? How do you guys typically hire?
Typically, we do one interview. We for our higher level, our management positions, we would definitely do multiple interviews. But for more entry level positions, it's one interview, and the person doing the interviewing would be the department head. So that would be who would be performing the interviews.
Okay, yeah. Um, are you guys doing virtual interviews right now? Are they in person? Are they typically like a panel or a single person, or how many people are you typically in interview, and how do you guys sort of handle the COVID interviews right now?
Right now, we're still doing. We can do either. We can do virtual or we can do face to face. If we're doing face to face, then everyone's masked up and 6 feet apart.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good to know. So you're following the COVID kind of rules. Um,
absolutely.
is there? That's really all the questions I have. Is there any other advice or anything else that you want to, tell anyone out there that's wanting to apply? Anything else that kind of stands out?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a great place to work. When COVID is lifted, we do a lot of things for our staff, and it's actually been really heartbreaking that we can't. We typically we have a big year end party that team members can stay overnight. We usually have a lot of fun. We have a couple of annual meetings every year. We call them all team meetings. We do one in the fall, one in the summer, and these are things that, as I said, they're kind of breaking our heart that we can't do, because that is part of our culture and who we are, is really kind of getting together and celebrating. So we're really looking forward to this being over so we can kind of
Yeah,
get back to doing what we do.
yeah, and you guys are so big on events. Yeah, then that's a strong part. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you again for coming to our hiring fair and answering some questions. We have a lot of people out there that want to know these answers. So, you really kind of cleared things up for everybody. So, I do really appreciate that. And we really appreciate your time and effort. And thank you again for coming. I'll just send
Thank
there.
thank you.